Welcome to the Rocket Launcher Podcast, episode 152. I am your host, Supreme King, and join with me, as always, is my co-host, and his name is...
It's your guy, Omazis.
How's it going? How's everything going for you?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm back in town. I told people I was going to have a little trip. I'm going to talk about it throughout the show, actually, because there were some things. I know I said before I was going to come back and talk about Super Mario World, like the actual place, but I am still going to talk about it. But there was actually some other things that I think is probably just as much important that people probably can get some more detail on, gaming related. But I think the people want to know our thoughts on the other part of Nintendo, the Nintendo that's out there for the public, Nintendo Direct. The Nintendo Direct from the 12th, this past 2 days ago. Much longer show than I would have wanted to see, but I wasn't really, mad about it. An hour and 6 minutes. I really feel like it could have benefited from being like 40, just like how they usually do it. Or split this into two, because the first part of it was clearly like Mario turning 40 years old or whatever, right? And maybe they could have added like one extra thing to that to stretch it out, and then the other half just be like a whole other thing on another date. But it's cool. They smashed it all into one. Overall, what do you think of the show? Just overall.
So, overall, it was kind of mediocre. I
Okay.
did not like that it felt like, which has kind of been a common trend, but I don't know why I just noticed it now, that it felt like majority of it was remakes and ports.
Absolutely.
Like when
This
I
is
was like,
Nintendo 101.
every single thing was just like remake port, remake port, remake port. Hey, now it's now on the Switch. Hey, it's now on the Switch. And it was just like, where's anything that's like new? Like I felt like there was like maybe 4 like new things. It was just, yeah, so that was I didn't like.
Now, as far as new things, they had some stuff. I will say my concern, and we'll get to it for a couple things, is it would be funny to hear from like diehard Nintendo fans, but like, how like when people would do console war stuff, console war arguments where they're defending, one of the things they would say when it comes to Nintendo is they really like to reiterate that they own a game, is theirs, is on the cartridge, blah 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 blah. And usually with other platforms, if you get DLC, it's DLC that you purchase digitally. But with Nintendo, the game comes to Nintendo like, I want to say a year later, maybe 2 years later. But when they get it, everything is on the cartridge, right? All the DLC, it could be, lower quality, but they get the whole thing on the cartridge. And it's usually the third party where you have to deal with this type of thing. But one of the things that was very, very eye-opening to me was with Nintendo's Direct, first-party titles was introducing DLC, and it's not on the cartridge. It's just you got to buy the DLC, no different than how you would have had to with any other type of game that would have been third-party, or maybe a PlayStation title or an Xbox title. It's like the DLC is separate. And they made sure they let you know this is paid DLC. They let you know that. They did
throw in that word. They did not say DLC. They said paid.
This is paid DLC. And so
what was weird is that like Pokemon Legends ZA already has a trailer and announced paid DLC.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll get to it, but that's just the thing that stood out to me overall, because that's usually the talking point when it comes to a Nintendo gamer. And now they're kind of like, for that fan base, I'm seeing some of it where they're feeling like it's a slap in the face a little bit. They already felt that way when it came to like cloud games or something or whatever, like the game not being on the cartridge and it's just being a game key or something like that when you buy a physical copy or something. So they're already upset about that, which is more of a thing this generation versus the first Nintendo Switch. But now it's like, it looks to me that Nintendo is looking to put out a DLC for every title regardless going forward. And the reason why I think that is because it looked like they just threw something together when it came to the Donkey Kong game. And it's like, well, why wasn't that with the actual Donkey Kong game from before? We'll get to it. We'll get to it because those are the things that stood out to me. But anyways, most of this is just going to be about the Nintendo Direct. Kirby and the Forgotten Lands is on the screen. It's not the Switch 2 version. This is actually older footage because I got so much footage of this game. But yeah, to start off, like I said before, hour and 6 minutes. They started off by just saying, hey, we're celebrating Super Mario for 40 years. My man's is 40 years old. He's starting to look like how he is supposed to be, right? They talked about that. They mentioned that they were going to advertise that at the Nintendo Museum, and the tickets will look a little bit different at that museum. And then they spoke about the Nintendo theme parks, which I went to one of them. I'll talk about a little bit later. And they're going to add a new theme park, so it's going to be like 3 Super Mario theme parks instead of just 2, which I didn't even know. I didn't know how many they had, but I guess they're going to have a 3rd one in the United States. And then they proceeded to just go into the movie trailer. They're going to have another Super Mario movie, Super Mario Galaxy this time. They're re-promoting that with the movie, and then they decided to like tag on the games with it, which is the first part of controversy. But before we get to that, just the movie itself, are you excited that they're going to do a second movie?
I actually am. I thought the first one was good.
Okay.
The first one was really good. Despite, like all the complaints about it being Chris Pratt. I still think it was very entertaining. My nephew loves it. Like, he was watching it on repeat. He's never even played a Mario game. He was too young. Weird thing to say, but, like 3, can't control it when it was, like, out. But, yeah, I'm excited for it. It should be good.
Okay. I'm going to be honest with the people. I have not seen the other one, but I will see it probably this holiday season.
Which is insane.
Along with some of them Sonic movies, not all of them, maybe just one. Yeah, man, these are Christmas movies, man. I'm sorry,
watch all 3. They're not Christmas movies
to me.
You ain't watching them at Christmas. You're just not watching them.
I'm gonna watch them, man. I'm gonna watch one of them. I'm gonna flip a coin. I'm gonna be like heads or tails. Tails the Sonic movie, heads is Mario movie, right? That makes sense, right?
The Sonic movies. I love those are great.
So yeah. I think the Sonic movies, they're up to 3 of them, right? And then it's like, this is the second Mario one. Unless you want to count now does it count that I saw I saw the ones a long time ago with the actual grown man and the actual dinosaur?
Personally, I count it. I count it.
I've seen those. They need to bring them back. Just go to the nursing home and go get everybody. Anyways, yes, they've brought back the title name Galaxy for the movie and proceeded to show us Super Mario Galaxy 1 and Super Mario Galaxy 2, where you can buy this as a pack. It's somewhat of a controversy here. So the first part of this controversy actually goes back to the Mario 3 pack that they created before, where they was telling people, this is your only way of getting this, right? And then they took it away for a few years. And then they brought back the Galaxy game again now with this pack, which I actually thought this is how they should have done it from the very beginning. But now they're saying for the 2-pack, it's a $70 price tag. And then if you want one of the 2, you can actually buy them both digitally as a $40 price tag for either the Super Mario Galaxy 1 game by itself or Super Mario Galaxy 2 game by itself. And it seems like now the first Mario Galaxy game is no longer a limited thing. You now have access to this again, which means technically on paper, Super Mario Sunshine is the only thing that's actually limited inside of the Super Mario's or the Switch storefront or whatever. Because if you have the Nintendo Online package, you could play Super Mario 64, right? And then if you have the 3-pack when it was available, you can play 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy 1. But now it's convoluted. I'm already confusing myself. But anyways, we don't got to worry about that too much. Just know the main thing is you got Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2 where you can buy them together in a physical form or digital, or you can buy them separately if you just want one of them. Where for me personally, I'm thinking about just doing Galaxy 2. I've played Galaxy 1 and played it the correct way, and then I also had it and played it through emulation a little bit when I was first starting to emulate. So I'm kind of cool on the first one. But the second one I'm more into. And I don't mind it being a $40 price tag for me per se, only because I mean, let's be honest, I'm gonna gift card half of it anyway. So it ain't gonna be 40 for me. But for everybody else, I was seeing little screenshots here and there. People was showing like they already got it, or they already got it through Steam or all that stuff, and they're like, yeah.
This should have been $40 total for the 2-pack.
I mean,
They're
probably
old. Like, they're super old. You know, they're not gonna be like, they're not redone. They're just kind of like upped a little bit in graphics. But when they're showing off the gameplay, some of it still looked like pre-Switch 1, like as it was, because that's the type of game it was. Like, it's old, and it's ridiculous that they're trying to charge so much for it. But alas, it's Nintendo.
Yeah. I was annoyed very initially when they were trying to make it a limited edition thing with the first one and the other games. I was just like, why is this a limited edition thing? But it seems like they're going to repackage and bring everything back over and over and over again. I don't think anybody should fall for the FOMO anymore. Yes, this is a old game anyway. I'm pretty sure anybody can emulate with the Steam Deck, I'm sure. But if you really want it, go ahead and get it. I do think it is overpriced at the $70 price tag for both. I feel like it should be $60 at most if it's two. And you're doing the physical or something. I don't know if I would want it to be at the $70 price tag. Then somebody might argue, well, it's really a $40 value, but they're going to shave it off if you get both. And like, well, I don't know about that. I never played Galaxy 2. I do have a Wii still. I was thinking about buying it for the Wii at one point, but I was really holding out because I was like, eventually they're going to put it on the Switch anyway. I think these two games being the last two main Mario games, I think they're both the last two that wasn't on the Switch before. And now, well, really Galaxy 2. Officially, you should have the ability to have all the Mario games on the Switch now, which is cool. If it really is the 40-year anniversary, I'm not going to really go in on Mario that much because, you know me, I go in on Mario a lot because I'm like, I would like to see variety of titles and not just Mario. But if they're just porting old stuff, it's like, okay, fine. This was the last one to port. I don't know the release date of this. I should have wrote it down. Did they have a release date? Oh, yes, they did. They do. I'm sorry, I did write it down. I'll tell you, I'm bad at this, man. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. This is coming out October 2nd, 2025. That's actually right around the corner, right? Did you play the first one or the first and second one?
I played some of Galaxy 1 a really long time ago, and I believe I played a very little bit of Galaxy 2. A friend had a Wii and had the game.
I watched footage of Galaxy 2 a long time ago. I played the first one. It came at a very unique time in my life where I was not really gaming as hard. And then like other situations was going on. So I didn't play the second one at all. But I do think I'm going to probably get that second one. I don't think I'm going to get it on October 2nd or whatever. I'll just get around to it once I get a gift card for it, right? I think I actually, funny enough, I think I'm gonna get another gift card next week. But I'll play it then. I'll grab it then. But yeah, that was the first part of this controversy coming from Nintendo. The price tag is still similar to Metroid Prime Remastered. If anybody remembers Metroid Prime Remastered, they put that inside of a cartridge and sold it physically for $40. I don't think everybody got it, but I was one of the people who did, because I'm a big fan of Metroid, and we're gonna talk about Metroid Prime later on, or Metroid Prime 4 later on, but I'm expecting them to drip feed like games from the past and do it the same way. It's just because it's Mario, I think they can get away with doing the $70 price tag. But I think with a lot of these titles, like a dream come true for a Nintendo fan is to have like a GameCube and a Wii Game Pass, right? Where you buy into Game Pass and you have access to all of this stuff little by little, or overall, but little by little, Nintendo just wants to sell them one by one to you. $40 each, $50 each, and it's just their ROMs, right? You go to the ROM site, then you're gonna go to jail forever. But if they go to the ROM site, it's okay. that's what this is, really. So they'll print up a fancy little image real quick and then just bring it back and sell it to you, I guess. It is what it is. Are you going to buy the second one? Galaxy 2?
No.
Not at all?
That is way too much for like that old. I don't know. It's just 40 feels way too much.
I forgot when this came out. It's on the Wii and not the Wii U, right?
Yep.
So the Wii is, what was that lifespan? 2007 to 2013? Or was it longer than that? I don't know. Somewhere in that lifespan, yeah.
Galaxy 2 came out in 2010.
2010? Yep. So we are 15 years later?
Yep, man. 15 years later.
Man.
Like, at that point, it was 40 when it released.
Yeah.
That's the issue. That was the price of games when it released. It was 40.
Yeah, man, they age with time, man. It's like wine, right? These games are like wine. I guess, interesting enough, it continues to keep going as far as like the prices of stuff, because they introduced amiibos. Like they mentioned the amiibos, right? The amiibos, for people, those are little toy things that you put on a controller and then like your in-game character gets like a different skin or something. The amiibos are the same price as the games, is from what I was seeing. I was like, yo, Nintendo is some gangsters, man. Nintendo is gonna sell you. They will sell water to a whale. So like, there was like, here's some amiibos, and I think they're like $39.99 for the amiibos.
So, I like the idea of amiibos just as a person who collects stuff as well. Right? Like, it'll be cool if I can like import all the Funkos I buy into some game, or it gives me like costumes or things like that. You know, like that would be cool. I don't like that price tag, right? Like a Funko is like $15. Amiibo should be around there, maybe probably less because they're smaller. I like the idea that like you're not just buying something digital that's going to be on that game only. That you're buying a collectible that can be put into the game. Because even after the game is said and done, years like way down, you still have the amiibo to like do stuff with, right? You can pose it, you can like hang it up, or you know, things like that. You can display it, but I don't like a $40 price tag.
Yeah, man, $40 for the amiibo, and it's funny because it was starting to add up, because I was just like, okay, the amiibos is 40, the games is 40, and then they was just like, not only that. Well, first let me mention, I think the amiibos are supposed to come out on April 2nd, so they give you some time in between, I guess. So you get the amiibos and not the game, or you get the game but you don't get the amiibos. By the time you get the game or the amiibos, you know, you would have finished the game. But there was like, okay, here's that, and then not only that, we're gonna take the book that they read in the game, and we're gonna sell you a hard copy of that bad boy, so you can get the book too of what's in the game. And then they mention to you that there's extra pages of the book in the game, but not in the book where you buy the physical copy.
That is happy. Because at that point, why not? It's just if it's a couple pages, just print it. Like, why would you do that? Like, that doesn't make sense.
It was just goofy, man. It was goofy to me. I just thought it was funny. Cause I'm not buying none of that extra stuff. I'm more focused on the game itself, but all the other stuff I was just like, I don't know. But the book was just a strange thing, because it's like, okay, here's a hard copy of the book that has the cover or the pages in there from the first 2 games, but they made sure to mention to you that we're going to add new pages to the digital stuff, but it's not going to be ready for that physical release of that. And it was just crazy to me, because it's going against everything the Nintendo fans used to praise and say and brag about being on Nintendo's platform for so many years. For me, it's not that serious. It's just I just have the system or whatever. But like, for some of the diehards, man, I know they was just like, what is going on here? But in this package from the past, you can buy the book, you can buy a couple toys, amiibos, and then you can buy the games in a package together or whatever. But I think if we're doing the math on this is like almost $200, right? Are we looking at like on a thing that's from the past? It's like, you might as well go to the mom and pop and just go get the thing if you choose so. But hey,
it's $200 for things that are 15 years old.
Yeah, man. Listen, Nintendo got to make that money, man. We gonna talk about it, man, because they gonna sell you cardboard a little bit later. But anyways, there you go, everybody. Now, for me, I like I said before, Super Mario Galaxy 2. I will probably go grab that at some point. But for the rest of this, I'm not really that interested in. The 2-pack of the Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. That might look like a good deal to somebody. Yeah, I can see where somebody might say like, okay, I got. Because if you look at everything overall, now I have access to all of the Mario games in one. You know, if they really want it that way. Technically, you can still do that on the Steam Deck. I'm just saying. Anyways, that's not it. We're not done with Mario. We're just done with like the first part of Mario. Right after that, they finally decided to just introduce a new game. And it actually wasn't an add-on to the other one. They were just like, here's a brand new tennis game. So this is Mario Tennis Fever. Not to be confused with Mario Tennis Aces, I believe, on the Nintendo Switch. So Mario Tennis Fever is a Switch 2 exclusive. This is not going to be on the regular Nintendo Switch. If you want the tennis game and you don't have a Switch 2, you could probably still go buy Aces and have a good time. I don't have Aces. I'm glad I actually waited, because I was thinking about getting Aces at one point, because I was just like, I don't have that game, and I have like practically all the other titles, but they have this, so I'm like, okay, here it is. There was a couple extra things here that I thought was a little appealing. Apparently there's 38 playable characters, and there's 30 Fever rackets, which is the tennis racket, but each one has like a different special ability. And they was telling you like you can mix and match the racket and the person to customize and get what fits you the best. Like, okay, all right, that's kind of cool.
Also, like the little story mode thing that they put in.
Yeah,
so
and there's also an adventure mode.
And they have to play tennis to like pretty much do puzzles to learn how to play tennis. So it seems like it's gonna be a fun way to introduce you to the mechanics, slowly let you learn it, while building a little fun story around it and puzzles.
Yeah, so they have the baby versions of a lot of the characters in here, similar to how like the racing game is, Super Mario World Racing. But in here, you know, you play as the babies that's trying to like become grown again. And you could play this as, I believe, online as well, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe you have to fact check me on that, but I could have sworn they said something about co-op. Because you're playing tennis, right? But I thought it was cool. This was like one of the first things that I actually got from the show where I was like, okay, I kind of like it. I kind of like it because it's a new game. They spent pretty much the majority of the other time like focusing on the old. This was the new. So this was okay. This is something that I am going to purchase myself at some point, or I say at some point. Pre-order. I'm going to pre-order this. I actually did pre-order this. I'm going to tell y'all how much I spent at the end. But after this, they had the Super Mario Brothers Wonder DLC, which is a part of the Switch 2 thing. I don't know if it's also on Switch 1, this particular piece, but I forgot what name they gave it because I didn't write it down. I just wrote down Super Mario Brothers DLC or Wonder DLC. It has a spring 2026 release time, and is more centered around online multiplayer and co-op type stuff. It's not really anything single player about this part from what I've seen. Did you buy this game yet, or did you play it?
No.
Super Mario Wonder? No.
Oh,
How'd you feel about the DL? How you feel about the DLC?
Again, I don't think they need a DLC. It also didn't look. I don't know. I don't feel like their DLC is like doing much. Like it's just like, hey, introducing a singular party mode. Pay us for DLC, and you're gonna get like maybe an hour and a half of enjoyment. Like that's what it feels like.
This was another one where they absolutely just like threw something together. That's the way it seemed to me. They did throw something together. It's almost like they're not telling you, but they're turning their games into live services. Yep. Right? That's the way it looked. I wasn't too much thrilled about this particular DLC. I do have the game. I didn't play it, but I don't plan to buy this DLC pack. But it was there. It is what it is. And this is pretty much all of the Mario section. Like I said, this is an hour and 6 minutes of a show, but this covered mostly the first 20 minutes. And then they proceeded to go into Yoshi, which I think they still kept as Mario, but it wasn't Mario. It was it was Yoshi. This was a new game, but honestly, it looks like something that's for a kindergartner person to me, similar to the first Yoshi game that they had.
Oh, it looks so boring. I'm sorry.
So what you think?
It started with like, he sees a pal and it's a flower. He tastes them. It tastes good. Now the pal can be on your back, and I'm like, what? And then it just looked like a boring, grow plants and like walk around. Like I didn't know what was happening. It bored me completely, and like, yeah, it was just a weird, with like constant like port, tennis, port, and then this boring thing, and I'm like, is this what we're doing? All the new stuff is, well, I mean, the tennis one was good, but then when I saw that, it was just like, oh, what's happening here? This felt so childish.
So this was called Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, and I guess it has a spring 2026 release window as well. It did look like the first game. Did you ever play the other the other Yoshi game that was on the first Switch? That one looked like a kindergartner game as well. That's like actually one of the only Switch games that's a first party game that I do not have. And this one, it looked like they kind of doubled down on that. They were just like, here's more of, something for little kids. And it really just it didn't do nothing for me, honestly. They didn't mention it, but I wonder if this one has a $70 price tag as well. This being $70 would be kind of funny, because it's like, this is technically like on the level of all of the like price to be on the level of the big AAA titles, right? But it just doesn't have that type of feel to me. That's just me though. I don't know. Maybe somebody else might like it.
Definitely.
If you do like it, hey, more power to you. It comes out spring 2026. Yeah, but yeah, they was mentioning all the stuff about plants and stuff like that. It's just, to me, I don't think of Yoshi that way. Even with the other game, I don't think of Yoshi that way. I think of Yoshi as being on the same adventure path point as like Mario and Luigi and stuff. Like, he wants to jump around and move, just like how Yoshi is in Super Smash Brothers. Like, Yoshi is still a fighter to an extent. That's how I look at Yoshi. But they turned him into like a tiny little like kindergartner type game, like if he was baby Yoshi. Like, regular Yoshi is baby Yoshi in his own game. That's the best I can put it. But I don't know.
Accurate.
Yeah, I don't see myself messing around with this. Not even to like go rent it real quick just to try it. I don't think I would, unless I really just want to get footage for it or something for one of the shows, which I still think is unnecessary when it's, because it just don't come off as something I would really want to play like that. But yeah, that was the Yoshi game. And then right after that is when they really started to get into their bag of like, here's something we could sell you anything. So they showed you the talking flower plant. What was the name of this plant? I don't really know. But it's the flower plant from one of the games.
Wonder. It was
Say it again.
It was the DLC for Wonder, for that like random like park that they have, the like Lily Park or whatever. And then they just showed the like random plant that's just like sitting there that can talk.
Yeah, and they put it on the screen. I don't know if you noticed. It was like, this is not an interactive thing. It's like, this will talk, but it's not something you could talk to, I guess.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not gonna answer you, but it's just gonna randomly say stuff. Can you imagine sleeping, like you're just in the middle of the night sleeping, you slightly wake up and the thing just goes, "All right, let's do it. He's asleep." Like, that's what it says.
They've been selling little gadgets here and there, and I always thought it was kind of strange because the thing that I was talking about before was when they sold you the clock, if I'm not mistaken. It was a clock that played music from various games or something. It was like $100.
Yep.
And I was like, yo, are we really buying this? So yeah, they're doing the flower this time. I don't think the flower is $100. I think they said it was like 20 or something. You know what they said? I don't know, but
I didn't see the price. I just thought it was a stupid flower.
I don't know if it's an arm and a leg. It might just be like half the arm all the way up to the elbow, something like that. But yes, here's the talking flower from one of the latest games, Super Mario Wonder. But they turned this into an actual thing and sold it to you and said, here you go. Now, okay, I didn't pass it yet. I was about to say, like, where's the Virtual Boy thing? No, the Virtual Boy's coming up. But yeah, so that was it for the Mario section. And then they proceeded to go into the ports section, right? They were just showing you a bunch of different stuff that they ported over. And some new stuff here and there. I didn't write everything down, but the first thing that I did mention was the Storm Lancers game, which is more of a 2D action game. What were you gonna say?
That was the first one that I listed as like something I actually want.
I was a little disappointed by one particular thing, but I'm gonna let you go first.
Oh, I like, it was like your normal action game. I don't like that it's only like couch co-op
Yes.
and not online. It feels like this is an easy thing to just do online. But it seems pretty fun.
That's the main thing. That's actually a running theme too that I've noticed in some of these titles going down the list. But this was one of the first ones that mentioned it, is that yes, it will have co-op, but it's couch co-op. And they're not going to have regular online co-op on this. I think it's somewhat of a shame. It's a lost opportunity. I think they would have easily sold this a little bit more, because I believe this game is a $20 price tag. And I think they said that this is an exclusive to their platform right now, digitally. But the main selling point would have been the co-op, and they just dropped the ball on that. So it is what it is. They didn't mention it was a timed exclusive, but I'm just gonna wait and see because I don't think this is a first-party title. But yeah, that was Storm Lancers. I did mention briefly in some of my notes. They ported over the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. That's going to be available October 30th, 2025. And I think this is a digital release on that date, physical release on December 12th, 2025. That type of thing is so weird to me. Like, how y'all don't got y'all stuff in order? Like, why are we selling products like this now? It's kind of silly. But I just feel like everything should be released on the same date. You shouldn't be waiting, basically. But yeah, if you want it digitally, you'll get it early. If you want it physical, you gotta wait till 2 months later, basically. They showed that they ported Final Fantasy VII Intergrid, the remake Intergrid. I actually thought they had already done this, but they mentioned that. They mentioned Hades 2. Now with Hades 2, they showed a really cool trailer. I thought the trailer was still good. They almost made it like it was new at first.
That was the other game I wrote down, even though that's been on my list. And I still have to play Hades 1. I played like a good, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes of it, like super late night one time. It was like, oh, this is fun, and then just never bounced back in. Now I'm playing this other game on Switch, but as soon as I'm done with that one, that's the next thing I'm playing is Hades 1. But yeah, Hades 2 looks good.
Yeah, Hades 2, they also mentioned that when you dock this game, well, they actually called it TV mode. It will run at 120 FPS. So that's something people can just look forward to. 120 FPS if you dock it on the Switch 2. And then after that, they showed us some more amiibos that they got. You know, you can collect these amiibos, $40 each. Here you go, more amiibos. They mentioned that Kirby Air Riders is going to have a second direct. Did you catch that? It was really brief. I was just like, why did it need a second direct?
I saw that, yeah. I don't know why.
But yeah, they want to show you more of that game right before they release it. So it is going to have a second direct. Then they show the next part, which is more of a highlight for me. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. They mentioned there was going to be co-op in this particular game as well. This is coming out November 6, 2025. A hack and slash type title where it's you versus a million people and they're like Play-Doh, basically. They fall back. It's almost like you are Neo from the Matrix and they're like Agent Smith. It's like 50 of them. You push them back all at once. You know what I mean? You like these type of games? Have you played these type of games?
I've only played a couple of them. They're okay. Like, it's fun. I haven't finished any of them, but it's like, to me, it's good when you, like, not to call it mindless in a bad way, but like when you kind of just want to like go through button mash, cause a lot of chaos, and feel super strong. I think they're like perfect for that.
Another thing I could mention is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity was a big highlight on my channel at one point. I remember getting a lot of subscribers at one point for that game, or my coverage of that game. Nintendo basically bought that, or they put that game out, and it's like frame rate was terrible at one point, and it was to the point where it was unplayable. It was dropping into the teens and all the way down to like 8 frames at one point. And then the game went dead for like 1 or 2 years, and then lo and behold, somebody like me was like, hey, this is good to play, here's my footage, here's the proof. And then a lot of people gravitated over here because of it. And funny enough, I never owned that game. That game was actually a game from my local library. I went, got it, made the footage, and beat the whole game, gave it back to the library, and it blew the channel up a little bit. Age of Imprisonment, I do plan to actually buy. I want to get that particular one. I did enjoy Age of Calamity. That game, did I say plan to buy? I also pre-ordered that one too. I'm gonna come back to that as well. But co-op, it was something that I noticed that it said, because I don't think there was a co-op in the first one. But I'm excited about it. This is like one of the only other things I was excited about, because everything else was just like a port or something old. So yes, I am paying attention to this. November 6th is the release date. And that's all I really got to say. Did I skip something for you? Was there anything else that you wrote down before this?
No, from the Nintendo Direct, the main 2 games for me was Stormlancers and Hades 2.
All right.
Not that there was,
So
like, good. Like, there was still some good. Like, I like the Mario Tennis game. It's just I don't have a Switch 2, and I don't plan on getting one. At least no time, really, anytime soon. So it was like those are the 2 games that caught my attention the most.
all right, they mentioned or they showed off Dragon Quest 7 Reimagine is what it's called. Dragon Quest 7 Reimagine. This is set to release February 5th, 2026. It's a $60 price tag, and it is fully multi-plat. I did go and wish-list it under Steam, but they did show it off here. Not the same art style as like the pixelated ones from like Dragon Quest 1 and 2 remake or remaster or whatever they just came out with, and then Dragon Quest 3. It's not the same graphics as that. It's a little bit more Disney, no pun intended. But yeah, Dragon Quest. I remember when they was showing it, the first thing I was thinking about was everybody and all of their memes and stuff about the Power World lawsuit and how they were stealing from Dragon Quest and everything. And I'm like, man, they're right here promoting it, I guess. But yeah, was this something that looked interesting to you at all?
Not necessarily like a right away get, but I never got into Dragon Quest, just circumstance. But it is kind of nice to know that if I want to get into it, there's some like nice looking ones out there. It doesn't have to be like extra retro. Still, of course, not like price tags, but it's nice that it's available.
All right, well here's my next part, my favorite part, because of the laughs, man, and that was the Virtual Boy. They brought back that age-old Virtual Boy that's older than everybody's parents, not even just them. They bought that back, and they decided to give you, if you can't afford it, the clip-on or whatever, we got you. We gonna get you the cardboard that costs $5 less, and you can have that version. Ah, yes. That was the highlight for me. I was like, yo, Nintendo is gonna sell you anything, bro.
One, it looked atrocious, like with the game. Like I could understand it for like a collector sort of thing. Although I feel like real collectors would have the original one, not this. But it didn't look great. It was weird that they were selling cardboard. And then I think the thing that threw me off more was him playing one right after, and it looked like the most uncomfortable setup. Like he is like the thing was against his face, but like freestanding on his own. So it's almost like that like binoculars that you use on top of like the Statue of Liberty and stuff. Like it was like that you have to lean in with his hands around it hitting the controller. And it's like, bro, that doesn't look comfortable at all.
It's like holding it almost like a sandwich or something at one
play
point.
Some digital like red game. Like it was just all red. Digital looks like the old school, like when they try to advertise that it's the Matrix, so it shows the screens of zeros and ones. It was that, but in red. Like it's like that doesn't look great.
Hey, it's gonna sell to the older crowd, man. The people who are really Nintendo enthusiasts, they gonna buy it.
Is that the thing where they said they were also dropping 15 like old games over time?
Yeah, it's the Virtual
like,
Boy had his own
ready?
system or own set of games. Yeah. They all gonna look like Game and Watch type of stuff, but it is what it is if people really want it. But they got the cardboard version. That was the part that I liked. I was like, yes, man, we got more cardboard. We selling y'all cardboard. You got to go to GameStop and trade in your other stuff so you can get the cardboard, man. It is what it is. Nintendo out here selling water to a well. They out here selling air to the earth or something. I don't know. But hey, they can do it. Hey, more power to them. More power to them. One of the ports that they showed that I paid attention to, I actually think is kind of important for Nintendo. That is Fatal Frame 2. It had a subtitle, but I didn't write it down. This was another game that's like coming from the Wii era, but it's a horror-like game. Fatal Frame is more horror-based, and you don't really see horror of any kind on Nintendo. But they have this, and then they have like some other stuff that's later on. I'm like, you know what? This feels a simple void. When you're talking about stuff looking like Yoshi, it's like, okay, you got something for the tiny little kids, but maybe for the horror end, it's a whole nother genre where they can introduce this within their platform. Fatal Frame 2 is going to be released in early 2026, something like that. They didn't give a real window, but early 2026 is what they're saying. Did you see this at all? Did you see that?
I did. It was a nice break. I don't know. It was like the contrast between still thinking about that baby's Yoshi game and then that. And it was just like, well, at least there's some, not to sound mean, at least there's some real games like being advertised as well.
Yeah, it was just, some variety too. It's because you spent the first 20 minutes and it was just Mario. And it was like, well, here's something that's completely different, right? So I thought it was important. I'm not too interested in it, honestly. If I'm going to play something horror, it's going to be Chronos, basically. But, yeah, they showed that. Then they showed a few more Switch ports for the Switch 2, I believe, where I can give some shout-outs. One of them was Stardew Valley. Very popular title for a lot of people. And then not only that, Power Wash, another popular online title for some people. Within doing this, they also like showed off their game share thing, where Stardew Valley I think was one of them that caught my attention, where they've mentioned that if one person has the game, the other people can play with game share, which is something they haven't really advertised before. That reminds me of some of those like split fiction type games, A Way Out and like It Takes Two or whatever. It was like, okay, one person has it, the other person can just play, right? Yeah.
I love when a game has a friend pass, especially for something that they know is like, we really do want to make this co-op, and it's better to be co-op with your friend than a random. So it's nice that they're not really out here just trying to really force people to just buy it twice.
Yeah, so it was pretty dope to see that. Stardew Valley does look really nice. I don't really know too much about it, but I have seen some footage here and there. And to see that you could do up to 4 people co-op and only one person can have the game, that to me was a good touch. I thought that was good. It might take you a while to get everybody together, unless you got a really dedicated like Discord group or something. But I was like, okay, that seems like a step in the right direction. We'll see how something like that develops over time, the whole game share thing. The next thing for me was the big highlight, the one thing I was waiting for a really long time, and that is Metroid Prime 4, an actual release date for this. They got some more information on here, but they showed off Samus rolling through Undertaker style in this bike. Something that's very new to Metroid Prime, because this is typically a first-person shooter game. But they had the third-person view on the bike. She rolling around on this bike doing her thing, and then hop off of it, and then boom, you're back in first person. This was one of the games I was waiting to get the pre-order on. I did pre-order this as well. But they mentioned also that there will be a Metroid Prime 1 through 3 visual retrospective, which I think was going to be on the YouTube on October 28th, 2025, which I think was kind of interesting. Yes, I would rather them release the Metroid games. You would think that they would do that, similar to Galaxy 1 and 2 for Mario. Like, you would think they would put Metroid Prime 2 and 3 in a package together before the 4th one comes out, but this is Nintendo. They're gonna do what they want to do, I guess. So
do you think maybe, I doubt it, but do you think maybe when they release their little retrospective on YouTube, it'll be announced then that like a pack of the 3 are releasing just that day?
Um, it's a strong maybe. I do think if they did it, it would be only on digital because I don't think they would have enough printed right away.
Oh, for sure.
I think they've handled Metroid series a little wrong overall because Metroid Prime 4 should not, like, there should be a 2 and a 3 out before 4 comes out. It would make no sense to me that we would put this out and then maybe sometime next year we'll go get Metroid Prime 3 and Metroid Prime 2. That don't make sense. But this is how they're doing it. As far as the visual retrospective, I will probably bookmark it, but I'm not going to watch it until I finish Metroid Prime 2 and 3 myself. Then I'll go watch that and then go play 4. But I am pre-ordering it right away because I do want to support this particular title. This type of title is something I feel like Nintendo lacks overall, and we need more of this on Nintendo. So I did pre-order this one as well. I do also want to say they mentioned more amiibos here. And I think it was like 1 or 2 of those amiibos. So if you want to, you can buy those amiibos for this game. That's something I'm going to skip. I don't necessarily need the amiibos. I just need the game itself. Does this series appeal to you at all? Metroid Prime.
It does, even though I've never gotten into them before. But like, I do like that style of game. I usually play the slightly more, I guess, whimsical versions of it, like Guacamelee. But yeah, that definitely deserves a lot more love than it currently gets.
Yeah, it took them a long time. I mean, a really long time to get to this point. So I am still a little skeptical about Metroid Prime 4. But the first one was okay, and I am going to play the second one and the third one before getting to this one. I think the second one is going to get played probably towards the end of November in my schedule. But anyways, we're on to the next piece of controversy. In my opinion, it might not be controversial to you or anybody else, but Donkey Kong Bonanza. They mentioned that this game has another DLC or has a DLC similar to some of the other games we just mentioned, where it's like a $20 DLC, but it looked like something they slapped together as some after game stuff where you're playing time travels, you're playing some other stuff that's not necessarily connected to the main game. But funny enough, they also mentioned with this that now you get a demo of the main game. And this is all happening months after the main game first came out. And I'm just like, I don't understand how Nintendo is handling this at all. But this is what they're doing. What are your thoughts on this?
All that makes me think is they're dropping the DLC, but not enough people actually bought the main game. The fact that they're dropping a demo now, it's almost like they're trying to say, we promise it's fun, try it out. Like, that's what it feels like when a demo comes out after the release, which doesn't usually happen. But that, to me, that's always like, it's just trying to say, hey, please buy it. Like, it's just how it felt desperate. These levels look weird, and I don't know, as much as, and like, I always, super defend this game, and you'll call it out for its accolades, but for Astrobot, right? This is the thing I can kind of compare it to.
Okay.
Astrobot's extra things that it dropped are mainly time trials, right? They're like quick one level, and it's kind of like, how can you speed run it? Like, how fast can you get with a leaderboard? The difference is it dropped like 12 of these, all for free. Right? Like, or about 15.
So like this is called this is a time travel too, right? It's called Emerald Rush.
Yeah.
But
Emerald
I guess
Rush
it's all in one.
Running around to try and collect emeralds and everything and break stuff, and you get like different power-ups that are random per level to like try and get the fastest, like get the most, get that perfect run. And you can collect things to pump up your DLC island as well, so you get a little home base to decorate. But it's like, are you really charging 20 for that? That feels like, if you're really charging, and I hate that it costs anything, but that's like at most $5. And
this Nintendo we talking about, man.
you're dropping 20, and you're probably only gonna have fun for that for about like 45 minutes if we're being real. Like within 10, you're gonna see what the whole thing is. Like you'll be done, and then it's just trying to get the fastest time. And it's like no, and it's like when you have another game, straight up like I said, like with Astrobot, that did those type of things for free. Here's 15 of them, right? Like it might be more, but I'm remembering I think they did 3 sets of 5 extra levels. So it's like, what are we doing here? Like you're already charging too much. The game's never gonna go on sale. The DLC's never gonna go on sale.
Hey, but hey, you get a free demo though.
Oh, but you get a free demo. My bad. You get a free 30 minutes of fun.
They gave you the free demo with this. I thought it was kind of strange because you would think the free demo of this would have came out on the release date of the Switch 2. You know, with the game coming out the next month versus here's the demo 2.5 months after the actual game came out. It was just, I was really just questioning like Nintendo in general. I'm like, what are you doing? It just doesn't seem like it made a lot of sense. But on top of that, this also reiterated for me because about the time we got to this, they had already showed DLC for like 2 or 3 other mainline titles where it pretty much solidified for me that with the Switch 2, they're going to release some form of a DLC. I don't care if they just pulled it out of their hat basically. But every DLC, there's going to be a DLC per game going forward. That's the way I think.
You know what it feels like? Like I feel like they slightly tested the waters with Pokemon. I will say the slight difference, not to defend Pokemon, and we're going to have issues with that later. The slight difference with the Pokemon DLC, not this new one, I don't know what they're doing here, but the slight difference with the other Pokemon DLCs was that it added a bunch of content, but it was also a year after, or 2 years, almost 2 years after, or a year after release, right? The game will come out. The following year was like when a DLC would come out for it. And then the following year is when they redid an old game. Then they would release the new one, right? It had like a trajectory going where it's just, these don't feel right. Like, I don't know, it just feels like cash grabs. And almost, in my head, it feels like with the release of the Switch 2, in Nintendo's head, they're like, we couldn't really do DLC or some of these other practices because we weren't powerhouse equal to the other consoles, but now we are. Whether that's true or not, in their head, they're like, now we are, so now we can do what they do.
Yeah, that might be true because it seems that way a little bit, where all of a sudden, to me, I really believe going forward, there's going to be a DLC for each title.
Yep.
And as far as everybody who's sitting there saying, I own this game, everything's on the cartridge. I don't think everything's going to be on the cartridge going forward for first party titles. And we're starting to see that because these are just DLCs to first party titles for Nintendo. And a company like Cyberpunk's got nothing to do with it, or the people behind Cyberpunk, or the people behind some of the games that's published, third party on here, like what's their name? Square Enix, for example. Like some of these other companies, like it wouldn't make that much sense, but they needed to put stuff as digital only because of how they released games on the Switch. But we're starting to see this with first party titles where now their mainline games, we're going down the list where they're having DLC and it's not on the cartridge. And Donkey Kong Bonanza is now one of them. Say that again.
I have a question for you.
What's up?
So, Nintendo doesn't put their games on sale, typically.
Mm-hmm.
People, when they start releasing DLC, that usually eventually leads to people releasing complete editions. Do you think Nintendo's going to do complete editions? And how is the pricing going to work? Is it just going to be equal to because they don't put the other games on sale, so is the complete edition going to just be the price of the game plus the DLC altogether?
Yeah, I think it'll be the price of it with the DLC altogether when it's at full price. As far as a complete edition, I think it'll be on a case by case basis, if they do that, because they basically have to reprint everything. If they see that there's a market where they can resell the items to Nintendo Switch fans, where you get a fan buying the same thing more than once simply because of the FOMO of like not having everything on the cartridge. If they could see enough people want it that way, I could see them, redoing the packaging for that, because it's an easy win for them. It's not the first time we've seen this. Like, how many times was Last of Us reprinted out, right? They have physical versions of Last of Us printed out like so many times. Skyrim had a whole bunch of different re-releases as well. So I think it's going to happen with them. It just will be on a case-by-case basis with some of their biggest titles. Technically, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 is an example of this, because they've re-released a physical version of Galaxy 1 now more than once. And I think they're going to keep doing that with other games like Zelda, for example. All of their GameCube games that they have brought back and put in a physical cartridge have all been re-releases anyway. It's just about how they market it. I think they're going to have a special way of marketing it where it's not exactly the same as what we've seen with third party, but they're definitely going to keep doing it. There's too much money involved. It's like, all I got to do is just drop this stuff, and sue whoever tries to get it the other way. They could do that all day. Yeah. Now, the next couple games to wrap this up, they got into the Pokemon section. I know you want to talk about that for a second, but I was a little confused by this Ditto thing, because at the end of the day, they called it Pokemon Pokepia or something.
Okay. But that actually, I want to talk about that, but this is also part of a much bigger conversation as well. That has to do with my other topic with Nintendo and their new patents.
Okay. Go ahead real quick. Let me grab something to drink. I'm right back.
All right. So, Nintendo's doing this new Pokemon game, they decided, where the main character is supposed to be Ditto, turning to look like a human, and that's just for the context of the game. Really what it's about is a farming simulator. So you're supposed to like collect Pokemon and have them like build like a little farming town where they're working and like building stuff and like crafting and farming and everything. That was the main thing that made Pal World different from Pokemon. Like, you had all of the like with the guns and the like fighting and capturing monsters, but then it was also a whole crafting farming part where your monsters work to like craft and do stuff. So not only is Pokemon actively constantly trying to sue Pal World off of no basis just because they got some traction and they're jealous for zero reason, because it's not like you're taking money out of their mouth. They also decided to release 3 new patents. I can't find 2 of them. I keep trying to find it. It's not being posted because everyone's so focused on just the main one. But the main patent that they just got, filed, it was filed in 2023 and it got approved now. And a lot of people are mad and said that this is horrible and it's going to ruin a lot of indie games and creativity. And they're wondering how this is going to affect some games that are already out. But the idea is, what they decided is they basically patented the mechanics behind Pokemon Legends and Scarlet and Violet. So they're allowed to call for copyright infringement, if it follows all of these things. So if you have a game that's on PC or console or some sort of computing device where it stores the game, if you take a character and you can move them around, it's not just stagnant, so you're able to move around the character, you're able to summon a sub-character. And the little sub-character, for example, like a little monster in Pokemon, goes out and can kind of do its own thing, where the sub-character can, like, you can instruct it on direction, but it runs around kind of on its own. If the sub-character runs into what the game considers an enemy, a battle commences. If you throw the sub-partner onto an enemy, the battle commences. If those happen, in which case you now control the sub-partner with commands to do the battle until the battle's over. If it does that, then they can consider it copyright infringement. So if you summon a monster, the monster follows you around and then fights, that's copyright infringement now. But it has to do all 7 of those, which I also find weird because kind of that's also in there's so many games where that's a thing, right? Like Digimon,
But like I said earlier on too, like it was ironic for them to have the Dragon Quest stuff there.
Yeah.
Because Dragon Quest was doing that type of stuff before they even got there.
So they're doing that and they patent that now. So I think it's crazy that they patent this, knowing that other games already do this. They're constantly trying to sue Pal World. Then they took a Pal World mechanic and made an entire game out of it.
The Ditto thing was still kind of weird to me because Ditto was turning into some girl or something.
Yeah, that was their way of saying it wasn't a human, it was just all Pokemon. Because if they left it as a human doing this, then it is Pal World. That's the whole thing. Pal World had the farming and crafting, so their way of saying it's different is, well, you're not really a human, you're another Pokemon.
Yeah, so more controversy here. Now for me, the next part of controversy was still the same situation where we have Pokemon, but they mentioned also Pokemon ZA having its own DLC.
Already announced. The only thing worse than pre-announced DLC before a game comes out is when the DLC also releases day 1 or very soon after. So this is supposed to release sometime later, but it's still like you're already planned and fully fleshed out the DLC. At that point, put it in the game.
Yeah, so it was controversy for me as a customer because Pokemon ZA, I'm not really too interested in as right now as a game that I want to play, but I did pre-order it because I had gift cards, right? Excuse me. And so I pre-ordered the Switch 2 version thinking that I got the whole game. And up until this direct, I thought that the game would just come to me whenever it releases and I have the whole game. But then they were just like, well, here are these Raichu Mega Dimension evolutions or whatever.
Right.
And it was, they showed 2 different Raichus with their mega forms or whatever, and it was just like, here's a DLC pack, and it didn't really show you much else. It was just 2 other Raichus, and it was just like that was the thing, and I didn't know much about it. And I'm gonna be honest, just as a customer, right? Because not everybody knows Pokemon in and out. It confused me a little bit because my thought process going into this beforehand is that I was going to be able to play the game and have Mega Evolution in it. And
well, it does have Mega Evolution, it just doesn't have Raichu in there.
Right. So, but from the perspective of somebody who doesn't know that, this could be perceived as if you can only get the Mega Evolution if you buy this Mega Evolution DLC, if you're not paying attention. So that's somebody like me. I'm not paying attention. I'm pretty sure I'm 1 or 2 trailers away from getting caught up. But at the same time, it's just like, why is there a DLC for a game that isn't even out yet? Just like what you said. Yep. That's been a big pet peeve of mine, period. I think we've always used the example of like Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse, where that game, it makes sense that they keep coming out with DLC because in real life characters are keep coming out on the show, the after show or the next show over or whatever. They come out with more characters, so then they release more DLC for it. Where for this, it's like, well, the game itself is still in a pre-order state. No person has this, and they're still basically, trying to get you to buy an extra or an add-on to something that's not even out. So for me, it should be on the cartridge, and I think if you're a diehard Nintendo fan who says Nintendo could do no wrong, here's an example, and I would love to hear your explanation for this, Like, what is your
And
excuse for Nintendo on this particular
there's only
situation?
there's only one thing I can think of that someone would try and argue. Not that it's a good argument, but there's only one thing I can think of that they try to argue. Is, well, it's not coming out in the main game because it's not ready yet, but they're letting you know it's on the way. And to that, here's what I would argue: Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, the first one,
Yeah.
had content that they straight up said is not ready yet. Like there was a few, I think, like Digivolutions that weren't, I guess, like working right, or there was some errors with them, and some things that so it wasn't ready yet. So they took it out and they said we'll release it when it's ready. And then about 3 months in, they released it. And it was like, hey, it's ready. Here you go for free.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like it was something that they intended. Like it was like, content. We have to pull it because it's not done. We're releasing the game. But when it is done, we're not going to make you buy it. Here it is. And they gave it away.
Yeah, it's funny too, cause like I'm hot and cold on Pokemon. 1 minute I like it, 1 minute I hate it. I don't feel like I want to buy this DLC though. Like
I don't even
would,
want to buy the game.
yeah, it's like Pikachu is one of the many Pokemon there, right? Not everybody. Like I'm pretty sure there's people in there who want to, get a game, get their guys, their all-star team, and maybe Pikachu is just not in that team. You know what I mean? And then every variation of Pikachu up to the Raichu Mega Evolutions. Maybe you just don't want that. Like I'm more of a Charizard, Blastoise. Like I like the original
I'm
three.
an Eevee fan.
Yeah, there's people who like Eevee. There's so many Eevees in itself as it is, right? Like even if you tried to take one out, there's another one over here. So it's like I don't like they kind of just dropped the ball on that. I keep it 100 too because I felt the same way when it came to WWE games where I was just like when you took certain people out, now you kind of ruined the experience for me a little bit. Like I don't even really want to get the whole thing no more.
Yeah, it's stupid. Like again, as much as I don't like, DLC, I don't like all this money grubby stuff. I can forgive DLC that comes out like way later and when it feels like they're like, hey, this isn't enough to be trying to make a whole new game with, but we still want to release it. Like I don't mind that where it does feel like extra. Like it has nothing to do with the main game. It's like here's some extra because it's been a year. You're probably done playing it. Let's pull you back in. But it's not enough content to be like it's a full-on game. So here's DLC. But like when it's like when you have pre-planned, I think that's what I don't like. When the public knows you have pre-planned DLC. In my head, that just means you ain't worked hard enough to put it in the game. You probably even took it out on purpose, going, "Hey, they'll buy this." It's Pikachu.
Yeah, they probably had a game plan, and that's where my concern is overall. Is just like with new titles. Surprisingly, they didn't do this with Metroid Prime 4 yet. That's the thing. I have to say yet. But they still found a way to do a little bit of it though, because they were just like, well, here's a bunch of amiibos. So it's like you're gonna get some DLC later, or you're gonna get some amiibos. But this is what their first party title lineup is looking like going forward. The bottom line is for the consumer. The person who's excited to have a full complete product, you're not going to get a full complete product going forward. That's what I'm getting at when it comes to Nintendo, which is a shame, but this is the direction that they're going. And I guess it is what it is. There's nothing really we can do about it. But yeah, that was the Pokemon segment. They kept going with the ports. The next thing that I wrote down was Dynasty Warriors Origins, which they made sure to make sure you remember that this is also coming with paid DLC. January 22nd, 2026. So you get the game and then you get the DLC coming with it, but you got to pay for it as well. This is one of the mini ports that you get that is not all in one anymore, and that's something I was mentioning before. It's not all in one no more. Yeah, and then they have Monster Hunter Stories 3. That was another thing I wrote down. I'm pretty sure there's another subtitle there that I didn't write down. And that's supposed to come March 13th. This is my co-host segment. I'm gonna let you take the floor. Go ahead and tell everybody how you was excited about this footage. Go ahead.
I wasn't. All right, moving on.
All right. Co-host is hating. The next segment is also my co-host's segment. This is the Resident Evil section. They was like, oh, no excuses now. You could play this handheld. You can play this in the VR system. You could do this any old kind of way. But where that Resident Evil 7 footage? That's what they said. That's what Nintendo said to my co-host. They were like, you need Resident Evil? We got you. Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8, and Resident Evil 9, aka Requiem. All coming February 22nd, or 27th, I'm sorry, 2026. All for my co-host. My co-host is going to give us all the footage. Everything right here. Resident Evil 7, bam. No excuses. No excuses at all. They got it. You got it any old way you want. Pick your poison. However you going to give us the footage, man. How you going to do it, man?
I don't know, because we'll figure it out.
Listen, man. they got it all here for you. I do want to also special shout out to the movie Rec 1 and 2. The French version, not the American version. The first American version actually name was Quarantine. They did a Quarantine 2 where they kind of did their own thing. But this game, if anybody knows those movies, this particular game is playing very heavily off of that particular hotel or room or apartment structure that they had where everybody was isolated into. This time you're going in with the detective lady and you're going up and down that structure and the stuff going on, and then the big ugly thing that everybody's been pointing out lately, falls from the ceiling all the way up. It can't see anything, but it can hear you and is like trying to get you basically. I think it's interesting that they took that concept and they did their homework and turned that into this game here. So I am looking forward to that. Along with all the rest of the Resident Evil games I haven't played yet. I've been playing a bunch of them. I am looking forward to playing one of the Resident Evil games next month. I think it's going to be Resident Evil 4, the old one, along with Callisto Protocol, just for some horror month stuff. But yes, I'm excited about this. I'm excited about that game still. But Resident Evil was missing overall on the Switch, at least for the newer ones. And so they decided to say, hey, we're going to put it all here for you, all on the same day. You can get Resident Evil 7, 8, and 9. 3 titles. For the same price as the Amiibo, probably. And you can have the games, man. You excited, man? It's Resident Evil, man. You excited?
I'm excited that type of content is popping on the Switch. So it's not all just super childish games.
Yeah.
Like I want them to be really popular. I just want Switch to see it and just go, oh, all right, let's do some more things like of that level of I don't know how to say it, like adult. Like let's put some things that are not just young kid age.
Yeah, it's possible. They can do it and still have their other stuff, and it's not going to tarnish their image. I think that's the thing. They think their image is going to get tarnished. And the funny thing about it is, all the stuff they keep doing to all these people with these emulation stuff, that's tarnishing their image. It ain't got nothing to do with a horror game. You would have done way better just by coming out with a horror game and not messing with somebody online. But yeah, it is what it is. Resident Evil is taking over. It's already took over, but it's taking over some more. They finished this up with some Fire Emerald. This is called Fortune Weave or something like that. They got the the weave, the cornrows, the braids, all of that in this game.
Fire Emblem. Yeah, Fire Emblem Fortune Weave. Yep, you're right.
Yeah, man. They got the weave. They got the hairstyle from Killmonger. All of that is in this game. Fortune Weave. I know a lot of chicks that's gonna be so excited to play this game. No, I'm just messing with y'all. Yeah, Fire Emblem. They put it last. Big deal for some people. I'm sure some people out there. Um, I like to see how the game plays. The only Fire Emerald game that I have, I'll admit, is the warrior style one, the hack and slash. That's my gameplay. Um, but yeah, it's here. It's here. That was to end this show, hour-long show, hot and cold on a lot of things. Really cold on most of it actually, but
Yeah.
they did what they had to do. I do think they should have shortened it.
Yeah.
I also think Nintendo does not realize that they are hurting their own brand, in my opinion, with the ports. I think the ports are now starting to overshadow their overall messaging. Um, it doesn't look like it almost looks like Nintendo is trying to do what a PC would do. Like people was like, go get a PC so you can like manipulate and play all these games that are old and make them new again, create them, play a mod or something, and it's just this incredible thing that not too many people know about. But Nintendo seems to be doing similar stuff where it's just like we'll change a few things here and there. It's just what's bad about it is now you got to pay for it and you got to pay a big top dollar for it, and it's not exactly how you want it, it's how they want it, and it's I just think it's overshadowing their good stuff because on this particular direct there was barely anything that was new. You had a few things here and there, but this is like 80-90% of what we've already seen before and stuff you could have pre-ordered already, if it was just new games that's have already been announced, so I would like to see better going forward, but it's Nintendo, they're not going to change. Any last words on this?
No, we said enough.
All right. Middle of the road. Let's talk about
For
the.
that,
Yeah.
because I don't remember how long this footage is. So should I talk
Yeah,
about
I was gonna say I was gonna put that as part of it. I was gonna say yeah, we'll highlight the Epic Game stuff, but I did want you to go ahead and tell us about this game while we're doing that. So what is this? What's on the screen?
Yeah, so this is a game that was advertised in one of the indie directs recently called "Is This Seat Taken?" It is a logic puzzle cozy game where basically all the little characters are little geometry shapes, and the main purpose of the game is that when you hover over them, they all have very specific likes and dislikes, and you have to try and organize where they're sitting or standing in some sort of confined space to where everyone's happy. So this was the demo. It's only a $10 game. I'm definitely gonna be purchasing it real soon.
Was this on Steam?
Yep, it was on Steam. They had the demo on Steam that I played through, and yeah, it was real cool. It's it's a nice little chill, relaxing game. Relaxing music. Not the best soundtrack, but doable. It was fine soundtrack, but mainly it was just the logic behind it, like all the little logic puzzle stuff to try and figure out the best way to place everybody. I like logic puzzles.
So we on a bus. That what I'm saying? It's got some Harry.
Yeah.
You got some. I was about to say something really whack, but go ahead.
Yeah, you were gonna say Harriet Tubman. It rolls apart.
I got them mixed up, man. My bad. I got them mixed up. I was like, wait a minute.
That is worse than the joke itself. But, yeah. This scene was fun.
Mixed up.
Mixed up is crazy. But yeah, so this one was a bus. There was a concert area with some seating and standing. One was a movie theater.
Oh, it just switched out. You're right.
Yeah, so
that's okay.
I figured it wasn't that long. This is also a great game. This is underrated. It's called Dodgeball Academia.
Yeah, and we've shown plenty of footage of this in the past, but go ahead and tell them a little bit more about it real quick. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, so this game is super goofy. Game of just dodgeball with superpowers.
Right.
You control a team of 3 to catch and throw with its own little goofy storyline where think Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, where it was here's a whole school that's dedicated to Yu-Gi-Oh and everything. So that's kind of the idea. It's, here's this whole school and it's dedicated to dodgeball, and you're like the new recruit and solving stuff and so like entering a tournament, making friends, and then some crazy stuff starts happening. Um, and each of your characters has like superpowers, and you get to pick your team of three to go through as you're trying to like go through the game to win this tournament. This was when I had PlayStation Plus Extra. This was an extra game that I went and tried out and just loved it and ended up playing through the whole thing. I think I ended up posting like 24 clips of it.
Yeah.
As I went through, because I just like kept it was broken down between like missions, so it was very easy to like do a mission and then save um each time for the footage. But yeah, it was a really cool, goofy game with a lot of like dodgeball puns and everything like that.
You know what's actually cool too is if somebody does want to play that tennis game, Mario Tennis, but they want something like right now, you know, that might be somewhat similar, they could probably play this, because one of the things the tennis game was talking about was that you were going to have different powers and different situations going on. And this looks similar to that, where it's like instead of tennis is dodgeball, but you also have different powers. Because from what I was seeing in one of them fights, it was like a tornado on the screen and everything, and they were just doing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
So
things can get real chaotic. Yeah, you got the tornado. One person can like split the ball into three, and like all three of them come out. One with like a fire attack. One of the girls is like all lightning and everything. So yeah, like very interesting, very fun game. Takes a second to like, not too long, but takes a second for like really picking up the skill for it, and then it's fun. Keep showing.
yeah, so I think that's a cool alternative to a a bigger name title. You could play something that probably doesn't have, nowhere near as big of a name, but you can still get a lot of value in the gameplay. And that at the end of the day is the main thing, right? But yeah, I do want to mention also the Epic games that as they're free games for everybody to play, and they can claim without having a credit card and even a PC, right? You can always log into your Epic Games account once you get a PC or a handheld, and then play everything that you've claimed over the time frame that you've claimed everything. So Ghost Runners 2, I think that's a game I already got, but that's a bigger name one that's available right now until September 18th. Monument Valley 2, also available from now till September 18th. And then the Battle of Polytopia, available right now until September 18th. So it's 3 titles out there, and you can't beat that when you're talking about free stuff. So go get all 3 for free, right? Project Winter is going to be available from September 18th to the 25th. And then Samaros Samaros 2 is available also from the 18th to the 25th. Don't know anything about these titles. Go out there and research it on yourself. It's all brand new stuff. Or not all brand new, but it's brand new to you, and that's what matters. And it's free. But I do also want to mention, we were going to talk about the Digimon Story Time Stranger demo. I was going to mention some stuff that I've seen from gameplay from people, but my co-host will inform me that he has a demo that he's going to put out his footage of the demo next week, and so we could talk about that from his perspective, and then from what I've seen from before, and then what he shows us. So we're gonna do that next week, and I'll save all my notes for that for next week. But other than that, let me see. I don't really have any other sales, but I do want to mention my own savings that I had from Nintendo so far. I've been finding a way to not pay full price for my own money this whole time. But I did pre-order Metroid Prime 4, and after my discounts and savings, I paid $23.59, and then the tennis game, Super Mario Tennis Fever or Mario Tennis Fever, and then Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. I pre-ordered those two together as well. And then my total price from that was $21.28 after discounts and savings. So I think I cleaned up pretty well. 3 Nintendo titles, Nintendo high-end Switch 2 titles. Paying just around $45 for all 3. So, yes, I did good, man. I did good. Let me see what else is on this page. What else I got? All right, I think we can move forward. Tell me the information you wanted to mention regarding Borderlands 4.
So Borderlands 4 dropped. Overall, people are enjoying it. However, of course, as almost it seems like all the time, there were some issues with the PC one, where some people were playing the game just fine. Others said on their high-end PCs, they were still barely even able to get 30 frames a second. Like they were dropping at like 22. It was crashing. Somebody said them and their 3 friends bought it, and all 3 friends couldn't get past the main menu screen without it crashing, so they just couldn't play. So apparently there's some PC issues going on, and it's like blowing up with like some, negative reviews because people are reasonably upset. Those that were able to get into it seem to be enjoying it. But yeah, started off with issues. Also, I just saw this. Did you see what Pitchford said? What he wanted to happen this weekend?
No, what did he say?
He said he wanted the servers, like enough people playing that the servers crash, and if we can get enough people playing it where that happens, everyone who are participating will get free DLC.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, also on a side note, so Conan O'Brien, who used to do like the late night talk shows before retiring, used to do this thing called Clueless Gamer. Because he said he doesn't play video games, but he'll review video games coming out. And he ended up getting a copy of Borderlands 4 to review a couple days before it came out as part of like a charity thing. And the game crashed during the review. While he was playing on PC. It crashed in the main menu. They tried playing it off saying that before it crashed, his assistant went and typed something on a computer and it messed everything up. And he said he was just trying to change the settings to make it easier for Conan, but that was how they tried to cover it up. But it legit just it did the whole little game not running crash thing. And even the assistant Blair or Blay, he was just like, this has never happened like on stream ever before. But like the thing just crashing. So that was the first thing I originally saw about Borderlands 4. Then I saw people's comments.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yep.
I've been saying this whole time, I don't understand how these companies are mismanaging their products like this. It's like the people want a full and complete product from day one, and they don't want to have to deal with all these issues. And it's almost like we're just like throwing dirt on everything and then saying, here, and give me as much as you can. And it's unacceptable after so many years of this. It's just like, the industry, if it collapses on itself, it will be their fault. There's nothing they can say. It will absolutely be on their fault if they let the industry collapse on themselves. But the people should receive better. This is kind of unacceptable, especially for a game that has the name value that Borderlands has and has as many games under his belt as Borderlands has. Because it's not just the main ones. They got the Telltales. They got the spin-offs. It's like, you should know your formula by now. You should have that down pat. Yeah. So that's all I really got to say about that. Anything else before I get into my last little bit?
No, that's it for me.
All right. I'll keep it short. I do want to mention, I did go, I took a trip all the way across the U.S., and it wasn't to go see the Mario thing. The Mario Super Mario Land's theme park, but I did take notes, or at least I was in the theme park doing my thing and everything. I will say it is fun. I have so many pictures that I took that I'll release later on like social media or whatever. But it does make you think that as soon as you get there that you're in it, like you're in the Mario Land a little bit. All the colors and everything, it just looks really, really good. They had their little areas and stuff where if you wanted to, really for the kids, you can go and take a picture with the Princess Peach or take a picture with Mario and Luigi or whatever. You had to go stand in line with those over there with the people in the cosplay or whatever. I ain't do none of that. I did take pictures of the people from a distance. Like, let me take a picture of the guy in the suit real quick. But as far as the world, I think it was a really fun world. They do have. So I went to Orlando Studios, and I think they are partnered with Orlando Nintendo, and part of their attraction is a roller coaster ish type thing called. Well, I don't know what it was called, but it was basically Mario Kart, where you put on this like 3D helmet and like it turns everybody into like kart racers and stuff, and you can shoot at them with the red and green turtle shells. You run into the question mark and all that type of thing, and it was really cool. It was a cool way of doing it. I do think everybody should go try that out every now and then. As far as the castles and stuff, in some areas it looks spot on, like what you've seen with the game. They had the little windows where it would like change colors into a whole nother thing or change its shape and everything. And by the windows, what I mean is those little portals where you would jump into a world in the actual game. Well, in real life, they just had it where it was a window where it would change its portrait every so often to something else. And it had like a liquid type effect where it would do the water ripple thing, which I thought was really, really cool. I do recommend everybody go and see it whenever they can. It was a very exciting thing to see. The Mario Kart thing was really fun. It wasn't that long of a wait either for the lines and stuff. And yeah, that's like the main thing I wanted to mention as far as the Super Mario World Land. So I wonder how the next one is going to be, because in that direct they said they was going to open up a third one. The one I went to was in California. I know they were talking about Orlando Studios, all the way down in Florida. I would probably like to go visit that one as well at some point. But we'll see. Another thing I wanted to mention that's not really Mario related, but shout out to the game Indiana Jones. I forgot his other title. Indiana Jones and the Chamber of... No. Indiana Jones and... no. Indiana Jones and the Great something. Whatever it is. There was a theme area that I went to where you go through the temple, right? And the temple has its like little spaces and everything. It's really claustrophobic in there. It wasn't too much going on, but I did want to mention, because I played the game on Game Pass. It was a spot on, and in one particular point, it was spot on with what you would have like experienced within the game, but it's you in there, right? You are actually in that maze and stuff, and I thought it was a good experience because I had played the game and I already kind of knew what they were trying to do. There was only like a couple places where it was like, immersion breaking, because they had to put the safety stuff in there where it's like, here's the emergency exit, or running into a water fountain at one point. So it was like some parts that was like immersion breaking, but outside of that, it was like I was in the actual Indiana Jones game, which I thought was cool. Not only that, I have to say the same thing for Harry Potter. There was like a whole nother Harry Potter thing that was out there. And I actually think that was in Disneyland. I went to India. I went to Universal Studios and Disneyland. But they had a whole Harry Potter port where people can go in there. They had the robes and stuff. Like if you wanted to, you could have bought the whole robe to graduate with. And then there was all these books and things and stuff like that. But there was like a little town piece that looked spot on with what you would have seen from either the movies or the games. And it was in there decorated really nice. And I thought it was like really, really cool to see that. So much more I could really talk about when it comes to that with so many other franchises, but I just wanted to bring that to light because it was video game related. And depending on the game, it's exactly with what you would have seen in a game. Indiana Jones was like almost a 1-to-1 thing at one point, which I thought was crazy. But yeah, that's all I want to say. I don't know how long this footage is, but we've been going for a while.
Now they need to make
a
Legend of Zelda. They need to make a Legend of Zelda neighborhood where it just looks kind of like normal houses, but you can just break in and break people's pots.
You know that they could just go ahead and do the whole Resident Evil thing, and then we gonna send you out there,
or that,
and you can go. You can go do the real thing. We can do that and the game at the same time. But if I wanted to mention the closest thing to that, they did have the Mummy, the movie The Mummy. They had a thing like that over there. The Jurassic Park thing was crazy. They had that over there as well, where the T-Rex was like actual proportion size of what it would have been if he was in the movie, and it was like almost bites you on one of them roller coasters. And it's like, yo, crazy. That would be the most accurate thing. There's so much in there I could say, but we don't have time for that. Thank you to everyone that put up with me in this long episode. We'll be back next week with hopefully a much shorter one, because we didn't even have that variety of topics and we somehow went almost 2 hours. So like, comment, share, subscribe. I will catch you next week. Peace.